Hello and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today we are kind of returning to something I did not this past year but the year before. Can't believe I've had this channel for that long now, but we're going back to reading wrap-ups. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy it because I don't always talk about every book that I read at length, because it just doesn't fit in a video idea I have. It isn't like a book I'd necessarily recommend, just certain things like that, but I still think it's fun to talk about all the books I'm reading. And I always like that on other people's channels. So I've decided to bring it back, but I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently this year. Previously, I had done every single month, which was fun, but I feel like it also kind of created pressure because some months I didn't really read that much. And then it was some of my reading wrap-ups were over 20 books, and then some of them were 4 books, which is fine, but it made kind of a weird video, and so I don't know. So I think now I'm going to kind of just clump them randomly how I feel. I feel like I've read a lot in January and February, so I kind of was I want to talk about that, and I want to make a January and February reading wrap up. So here we are, and that's exactly what we're doing. So this is my January and February of 2024 reading wrap up, which is crazy that we're already 2 months into 2024. I have currently read 23 books. I read 9 in January, and I've read 14 in February. So without further ado, let's just kind of jump into it. We started off the year very strong with 2 really good books that I really enjoyed that I just randomly found. News, my boyfriend got me a Kindle for this Christmas, which was amazing and so sweet and the best gift ever. And with that comes 3 months of Kindle Unlimited or something. So I've been using that Kindle Unlimited because obviously why would I not? So it's kind of been kind of a weird journey with books because I'm just kind of trying to use as much Kindle Unlimited stuff as I can. So I'm finding books that I've never heard about, which I like, but I can get into it more. Kindle Unlimited is such a hard space to navigate, I feel like. But anyway, so most of these books that I have read, I think actually all of these are through Kindle Unlimited, and a lot of them are kind of more random just because of that. I didn't really know what I was getting into, but sometimes that's a good thing, like these. The first book I read was Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer, which is the first in the Vancouver Storm. And then the second book I read was The Fake Out, which is the second in the Vancouver Storm. So they're both hockey books. The first one is this musician, and she's just had a bad breakup with her ex, and she kind of doesn't really know what she's doing with her life, doesn't really know what to do going on, and she gets in a assistant job with this NHL, oh my gosh, dude, and he is really cocky. He's a playboy, and then they end up starting to develop feelings. I really liked this book. I gave it a 3.75, which is probably kind of high for the books of January and February. I feel like I've been ranking some pretty low, which is unlike me. But anyways, I liked this book, and it leads into the second book. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry if it feels so scattered just there. I literally kept feeling hairs on my face. You know that feeling when you're something is on my face, and I couldn't find it, and I was I kept just being oh, I think I got it, and then I would start talking again, and then it would come back, and then I was I didn't get it. So whatever, on to the second book, The Fake Out. Honestly, I kind of remember this one a bit less. This one is obviously fake dating. Still the same, hockey team, whatever. I think it's her getting back at her ex. He wasn't a very good dude or something and broke her heart. I think he was a player. I'm kind of remembering this. Maybe I'm not. I don't know, honestly, but I liked it. I gave it a 3.5. The next book is Coach by Devney Perry, and this is the first in the Treasure State Wildcat series. I have read this for my football romance books. If you haven't watched that video, you should go watch it. The link will be in my description. It's actually, I think it's a really good, not to toot my own horn, but I think it's a really good video. But I was kind of doing more research for that, so I was trying to look up different books. I also like when it's in the world of a certain world, like a sports romance, but it's like different. Like he's the coach, he's not a player, so it's still in the world and the realm, but it's not like the same. Like I like when authors take like risks like that and kind of have like a different take on it. So basically the coach I guess is about a coach. He was a professional football player and won the Super Bowl, really good, whatever. And then it's like 10 years later, he had like a injury that ended his career, and now he's coaching college football, and kind of like looking for a new start. He has a daughter, and she's like 10, I believe. And then the main thing is like when he comes back, it's the college that he played at, and his college girlfriend slash best friend is working there. So they have to work together again and start flying. And they were never, I guess I shouldn't say like he was ever her or like she was ever his girlfriend. It was like they hooked up once and then he found out that he got another girl pregnant. So like it ended that very quickly. I liked this book. I gave it a 3, which is like my usual, like just kind of like, you know, I liked it. Like nothing earth shattering, didn't give me butterflies, but it was good. The next book I read is like such a highlight. It is Blindside by Kandi Steiner, and it's the Red Zone Rivals book 2. I did skip the first book in this series. It just didn't really interest me at all, and I almost went back to it because I ended up like liking the other 3 books in this series, but I just still was like, I don't know. So if anyone's read the first book and does recommend it, like maybe I should go back and read it. But anyways, Blindside I loved. It is a fake dating football in college. He's like the star. I don't really remember what position he plays, but I did talk about it in my football books, so you can go to that and I'll be better about talking about it. But they're both like going after someone else. Like he's going for his ex-girlfriend, and then she wants this guy to like notice her, so they're both like helping each other try to get those other people and like make those other people jealous by fake dating. But it's so good, and I was kicking my feet the entire time. I loved it. I loved Clay. Yeah, it was really good. I gave it 5 stars. I was really obsessed. I was not messing around when I said that I liked this book. It was very, very good. Okay, next is Quarterback Sneak by Kandi Steiner, still in the Red Zone Rivals. This one is about the quarterback on the team, and he's very like, doesn't get into trouble. He's very responsible. Like everyone trusts him on the team. He's definitely like the leader. And then he starts having feeling for the coach's daughter, which is very off limits and very not okay and a very not Holden thing to do. So they're kind of exploring that. And then the coach's daughter, I'm blanking on her name right now, but she has like some past stuff that's kind of complicated and mysterious as you will read the book. Oh, and I gave the Quarterback Sneak a 3.75 stars. The next one and the last in the Red Zone Rivals series is Hail Mary. And this one is, I really, really, really liked the setup of this one. I thought it was really fun. It basically was Leo, the main dude in it. He is like total like playboy. He's like the most of all of them and like fully like very full of himself and like all these things, whatever. I'm pretty sure he's the wide receiver. And then the girl is Mary, and she does not like him. She's friends with the girl in Quarterback Sneak, but she does not like Leo, and everyone's like, I don't know why, like did he do something to you? And she just is very vague about it, like she won't really talk about it. Turns out that Leo and Mary know each other quite well, actually. They went to high school together, and in like the summer of one of their breaks, I think it was like sophomore to junior year or something like that, Mary started playing video games and they started gaming together, and she knew it was him from school because she knew his like gamer tag or his like name or whatever, but he didn't know who she was. But they started this like first just like gaming friendship where they would play a lot and they would like speak on microphones and stuff, so they were like talking to each other. And then he asked for her number, and then they started talking more and more, and they would like tell each other really deep things, and they knew each other like really, really well. And then he kept really asking to see her in person because he found out that like they were the same age and they went to the same school, and she knew who he was. and she made this like big thing. Well, I don't want to tell you anything. Okay, oh, whatever. But it didn't go as planned, and years later, they're now in college together, and she's really holding this grudge against him, and he doesn't remember her at all, which is really bad. But I really like the setup of it. I gave this 4 stars, so very good. Which makes me think I should read the first one, because literally of the books I did read in the series, I gave a 5, 3.75, and 4. Like, those are very good rankings. Okay, next book I have is Meet Your Match, which is also by Kandi Steiner, and it is the first in the Kings of the Ice series. Clearly, I just went from reading that really awesome Kandi Steiner, why am I saying it weird, book series, to then just like looking at more of her books, and this was more of them. So this one was about, it's hockey, so NHL, but it's like this famous NHL rookie, and he's like rich and kind of just like a little entitled and all of that. And then the girl is like a social media influencer basically, and for her job and like the people she works with, they decide it's a great idea for like a month that she follows him around and like reports on him, and like basically just gives like behind the scenes content and like quote unquote like boyfriend content that people are like looking for because he's hot, basically, is like what her job entails. And through that, obviously they start growing closer, but she's very like doesn't want to get close to him because she thinks she hasn't figured out, because he's like a rich boy and has everything handed to him and like all that stuff. It was fine. I gave it a 3.5, so like I did enjoy it, but like it was not my favorite, but it was still fun. It still gave something, you know. Okay, next we have Watch Your Mouth, Kings of the Ice 2, and I just was reading the description to like remind myself, and I remember reading this book, I was just like, what's going on? So this is like teammates / friends, little sister, whatever. So the main guy from the first one, it's his little sister, and he is whatever. So it's her, and she's kind of like she travels everywhere, doesn't stay put any place, just kind of like doesn't love connections, doesn't love staying in one place. And then the dude is older, and he is, I don't know, they just like start hitting it off, and she is coming off of this like breakup, which she doesn't really care about, but she's just kind of like feeling lost in her life in general. And then he offers to take her on a road trip, and she takes him up on it, and they go on this like total road trip, and then that's where like the story all takes place. Which, what I'm saying is like what's going on here is because this is one of those like, this isn't a sports romance at all. Like, it's under the category of sports romance, but it really shouldn't be, because like the only reason it's under sports romance is because he's an athlete, but we're not seeing any of that because it's off season, and he's basically just rich, which is fine, but it kind of was like, what's going on? But it did give me Razy vibes, just the like road tripping together, and like he's older and she feels lost, and I don't know, gave me those vibes for sure. So I definitely recommend it if you like Reich and Daisy from the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series. I gave it a 3 also. This next book is the last of my January reads, and it's the randomest series / book ever. It is Beyond Score by Kate Olivia, and it is the Real Score #1 series, like at the first in the series. So this is about, again, like I like when authors do something different in the sports world, so it's about 2 reporters in the sports world, and they're supposed to be like have differing opinions on things, but in reality like they really like each other and really respect each other and each other's opinions, and like they form this like bond, and basically they're filming this documentary that's supposed to be like an expose or like tell-all because of this like hazing stuff that happened on one of the like really prominent teams, like this really bad hazing, like awfulness, and they're like exposing it, which was weird for me in a lot of ways, because one, this is the first book in the series, so it was like, okay, controversy, like, cool, I guess, and I get it because they're setting it up and they do talk about that team in this series, but like, what? And then 2, this book is literally, or like book, is 80 pages long. This is a novella, but if for some reason is categorized as a book, it is not. I don't think. It's so short. It's so, you can't really delve into these characters. It's so weird to me because it's not written like a novella. It is written like a book, but there's only 80 pages. So it feels like I'm missing at least like 100 pages of dialogue and character development. And it's so weird. I gave it 2 stars. I don't even know why I gave it 2 stars. I think I was being generous. Next book is Red Zone, which is the second in the Real Zone, or the Real Score series. I literally had to enter this one and the next one into Storygraph myself because no one had read them. That's either like a really good sign or a really bad sign, I feel like, because people go crazy, and like I feel like basically every book I've ever read is on Storygraph, but these were not. So Red Zone again was only 102 pages, so like weird vibes. But this one is about the quarterback that was on the team that had all of the hazing stuff. So his career was talked about in the first one, and we saw like a little snippet of him. So I was like, okay, maybe this is going to make sense. Maybe this is going to like finally translate into something. Like, I don't know. Kind of not really. Basically, this book is just, he's on a different team and like people don't respect him, which I'm like, why? He comes onto the team and he like really needs this to work, like for his career to work, because like this is already, people are taking a chance on him after the expose, which again, I'm like, why? It's not like he's a bad quarterback. Like, that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. And then he realizes that his ex-girlfriend, the one that got away, or no, his ex-best friend, it's not his girlfriend, his ex-best friend, is in the stands, and she works with the team, and she actually happens to be exes with one of the other players that seems to have an issue with him. And basically it's just like them reconnecting and like the ex kind of having to deal with her. And it's so weird because like clearly the ex does have a book, and clearly they wanted it that way because it was like they made him bad, but then they like quickly were like, wait, but he's not that bad, because like they want you to like him for like the next book. So it was very weird of like, he did something crazy and then backtracking, wait, no, like but he had a good reason. Like, it was just kind of weird and like, okay. Let me see what I ranked the book though. I gave it 2.5 stars, so I guess we've gone up. Rough Game is the next one, which is the Real Score third book, and this is about that ex-boyfriend that I was just talking about that they were trying to still make seem like a good guy. This is 85 pages long, again, crazy. And this was my favorite of the series. I was so disappointed it was 85 pages long. The entire time I was like, I was really digging it, and the end was like not an ending. Like, it's crazy. Like, I talked about this in one of my vlogs, but like it just ended. Like, it literally didn't make sense. Like, it wasn't an ending. This one's about the ex, like I said, and he's kind of feeling down. He's feeling sad. Like, his girlfriend didn't get taken away, but like whatever, his girlfriend's happy and they're like engaged and like whatever, and like he has to see it all because like it's his teammate. But he randomly finds this girl at a party, and she's a professional volleyball player, which is cool to have like both professional players. And they hit it off, and they kind of just like start, he just takes like, it's one of those where he just takes like an interest in her. Like, he's always a playboy, but he's like, but you're different. And it's like, why is she different? Like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Those always kind of make me giggle, because I'm like, okay, just say you don't respect women. Just say it. Like, you know what I mean? But he does like her, and they have like, they start developing a relationship. But I gave this one 3 stars. So like, I definitely liked this one the best, as I said. Next book is Foul Play, still in the same series. Yeah, it is. I gave this one 1.5 stars. I don't exactly remember why I gave it such a low ranking. Usually if it's in the ones, it's because they said or did something that like really made me mad. And like, if you read a lot of romance novels, you know sometimes they are just saying the wildest things in them. I do have the issue of not wanting to DNF books, so even if this book is doing it, I still will read it, but then I'll just give it a bad rating, which I don't know if that's the best thing for me or others, but that's the reality. So something probably happened in this book. Sorry, I can't be more specific. I don't really remember, but I do remember that this book is like his nanny. So his ex-wife they're going through a divorce, and she's painted to be like this huge villain. I think that's part of the reason why I hated it. But she doesn't want to take care of their kid, at all virtually, so he has to hire this nanny, and basically she's not even a nanny, like she's like a friend, like her brother also plays on the team, and she offers to watch him sometimes during the game because she's friends with the wife, and then suddenly she just becomes like the nanny. Like she literally quits her job for this, which I'm like, not that like being a nanny isn't a good job, but I'm just saying like it is kind of crazy because she like completely quits her job, but whatever. And then they start like developing feelings, and I remember the like, I don't know, they tried to make like a scandal out of it. It was just like, I remember it just like not being for me, but it's not long either. It's only 120 pages. Oh my god, it's 111. Yeah, it's only, oh wait, or it's 160 pages, so it's the longest yet in the series, but that does not make it better. The last, thankfully, of this series is Tijan. This is a whopping 269 pages, and so this is the only real like book if I'm being honest, and this is the book that originally had me reading this series because I saw like the blurb for this one and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of good. And then I was like, oh, it's a series, I should read the whole series. And then because they were so short, I just kept being like I think I read these like all in like literally like I read the first one on January 31st, and then I finished the entire series on February 2nd. So like these were back to back to back to back because they're so easy because they weren't book length books. But whatever. Tight End. I'm sorry, it's so bad. Like I don't like being negative, but like it was really bad book. It basically, I did not like it. The book follows a dude who is he's a free agent and he's trying to like make it onto a team as a rookie, but that has like nothing to do with anything basically. Basically he stays with his twin sister's best friend, and like unannounced, which is like weird, and she lives in like a one bedroom, like a studio, like it's really small, but whatever. He just like invites himself over, and they're enemies because he was really mean to her in high school, and like there's like all this drama. It's so bad. It's literally so dramatic. Like the things that happen in this book seem fake. I'm gonna tell you them, so I guess spoilers, but I'm not gonna go in depth about them. But there's a pregnancy. There is literally a ploy of like there's extorting someone for money. There is like so much family drama, like family disowning and craziness. There's literally like adultery, the most toxic relationships like you've ever seen in your life. And yeah, basically it's just so bad and it's so weird, and like the whole time I was reading it I was like, what am I reading right now? So I gave it 1 star. That's probably being generous. Next is Enemies by Tijan. And this book was good. Again, it's like a sports romance. It's like not really sports romance. Like it has like nothing to do with like anything. But this story is, she moves to Texas. She's had a lot of tragedy in her life. You don't really know what the tragedy is. She's just very vague about it. And she doesn't know anyone. She moves like far away. She starts college and like she's going to be a marine biologist and she's so excited about it, whatever. She is struggling for money. Like all of these things are just like basically not going her way. And then her past best friend from grade school is the star player. I think he's the quarterback of the team and in the city that she lives. And his name's Stone, I want to say. Like it's something like that. And something tragic brings them together, and then they're kind of enemies to lovers, but it's like weird, but it's fun. Like I did not dislike this book. I liked this book. I know that probably description is not very good, but I feel like I can't really give anything away, or I don't want to, so that's all I'm gonna tell you. But I gave it a 3.5, so like it was good. It was good. Trust me, it was good. Next we have First Down by Grace Reilly, and this is the first in the Beyond the Play series. Another football one. It's in my football recommendations, but this one follows James. I did see their names, James and Bex. But he is a star. He's a senior he's a quarterback on the college team, Bex, is tutoring him, basically, like, in exchange for tutoring him in, like, a writing class that he needs or whatever, because he transferred. He agrees to fake date her to make her ex realize that, like, they're done. And her ex is on the football team, and he's kind of scary and creepy. So content warning for that. And yeah, but it's fun. I gave it 3.75, so, you know, pretty good. We next have Breakaway, which is the second in Beyond the Play by Grace Reilly. I gave this one 3.75 as well. This one is about his brother, so it's kind of fun because it's like the series follows siblings, which I always find kind of interesting and fun, and then it also gives way that they all play different sports, which I love. Real ones, remember the 100 Oaks series, and that followed, like, it's a YA romance series, but each book follows like a different couple, but they all go to the same high school, but each one is a different sport, and I ate that up. I loved that. That was like my first like romance series I loved, so it reminds me of that. But anyways, so this one's about hockey and Mr. Coop, and Penny, and basically Penny has some trauma and she's trying to deal with it best she can, and for that she kind of wants a no strings attached hookup situation, and she decides that Cooper is her best option, and he's like, yeah, cool, I'm down. But he does not know that she is the coach's daughter. But he does learn that, and then they start developing feelings, even though he's like this, okay, why is my voice sounding like this? Hello? But he's like the playboy, and he's like, me in a serious relationship? Never. But it was kind of cute, and it was like, I like was tee like a little bit, like, you know what I mean? Like if it's above a 3, I'm tee-heeing a little bit, like, you know what I mean? Me reading the description for the book and being like, right, that is true, I do remember that, like, girl, yeah, like, that's literally the description for the book. But the next one is Unravel Me, by Becka Mack, and this is Playing for Keeps number 3. I have read the other 2, but ages ago. I guess I'm reading this one as it comes out. Good for me. I didn't even know that. I did see this book and I was like, no, Becka Mack, I remember that. And then I was like, oh yeah. But what I forget every time, because I read the first one and it was fine, and then I read the second one, something wrong, I'll talk about it in a second, and then the third one, same thing wrong, but I forget because I haven't read these books like back to back, you know? The books are fine. I gave this one 2 stars, so like not super great. But the main guy from the first book is the most insufferable side character ever. I can't stand him. I cannot stand him. And it made this book rank lower. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I can't stand him that badly that this book suffered because of it. And like, that's sad. Sorry, I won't go too into it, but if you read the series, you probably know who I'm talking about. I can't stand him, but this book is about the goalie, and he is basically like I don't know, like, he doesn't really know what to do. He feels like people are just kind of using him. He feels like he can't find someone who like truly likes him for him. And then one day when he's on a hike, his dog like runs into a girl, you know, that classic setup, and then they start talking and he's really into her, and she has a baby. I guess I can say, yeah, she has a baby. So she's like, oh, he's so not gonna want me, and then he's sitting here being like, oh, she's totally gonna be like fake around me when she finds out I'm a professional hockey player. So he decides not to tell her, and then that's like obviously a huge major issue in the book. But it was cute, it was fine. Honestly, I probably would have given it like 3 stars if it didn't have the insufferable character in it. So like, that's really sad because this series is suffering because that character is like, I think probably the worst character I've ever read. Another super random one, Fake-ish by Winter Ranshaw. I gave it 1.5 stars. Not good. Basically, this is a girl, she meets this guy at her cousin's bachelor/bachelorette party. They do it like together, whatever. And they hit it off and they have this like great night together. And then they have this like great connection, but they can't be together at that moment. I don't want to like give anything away. Not that I really think you should read this book, but whatever if you want to. And then they randomly meet up later when she has agreed to a like fake marriage of convenience with her boss, because his father is dying, and then she finds out that the brother is the guy from the bachelor party. Like, oh my gosh, no. So like kind of wacky, fun setup. Literally so bad. Literally like, I don't know. I don't know. It's so bad. And then just a huge qualm I do remember because it's in the ones, so we know it's bad. One of the reasons I hated this book is she's such like a I'm not like other girls girl, which I can't stand. Why do you want to be like, you can be different from other people, that's fine, but you don't have to put down other people in the process. Like, that is such an annoying, awful thing to do. Like, I hate when people do that in real life. I hate when people do it in books. It's so stupid, it's so childish, and it's so tells me everything I need to know about you. This book sucked. Anyway, next book is Stealing Home, and it's the third in the Beyond the Play series by Grace Reilly. For some reason, I didn't think this book was out. That's why I didn't read it after Breakaway, but it is. The fourth one's just not out yet. It's coming out soon-ish, and I do want to read it. It sounds very good to me. So we'll see if I come back around to it. But I gave this one 3 stars. But this one is a baseball. Give it up for baseball romances. Like, I really don't read many baseball romances. I don't really think there are a lot of baseball romances. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I liked it. I was like, go baseball, okay. But this one is basically Sebastian is like obsessed with Mia, and she's like a friend of Penny from the other book, if you remember. But he's just like obsessed with her. He's just like, she's amazing, she's so cool, I want to be with her, she's so cool. And they basically start like a friends with benefits type situation, but she wants to keep it hidden. And then that happens in not even their book, in Breakaway, in Penny and Cooper's book. We like see it in the background, which I always love when they do that, like give little Easter eggs. But anyways, now they are like trying to figure out a like relationship together, and she's really scared of commitment. And it's kind of annoying how scared she is of commitment, but it's fun. And she's a little girl boss. She's trying to get into NASA and like do all these space stuff, which is like, go slay, girl. But yeah, it was fun. It was like nothing special. I was just like, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't know, I did that. Okay, the next one, also baseball romance. I was like, oh girl. Also, look how cute the cover is. Well, I guess it'll be on screen. Okay, never mind. I did not really show you well on that, but it's Home Run Proposal, which is Orleans University #1. Orleans? Why did I just say Orleans? Orleans, like New Orleans. Orleans? Okay, whatever. By Maren Moore, which was cracking me up the entire time because I was just like, Maren Morris? Maren Morris, the singer of The Middle. That song? You know what it is. That's Maren Morris, but this is Maren Moore. But I was just like, what are the odds? That's kind of funny. Haha. But I gave this book a 3.75. See, we're getting into better books, guys. Don't give up hope. But this one was fun and kooky and fun. Basically, it was like the girl had a crush on her best friend's older brother for ages, and she comes up with this concoction of she feels like she's missing out on the college experience, and she wants a guy to teach her how to do all the things. So she makes a proposal for him, the home run proposal, and then they like start hooking up, and then it forms into more, and blah 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 blah. But it was fun, it was cute. Again, I like that it was baseball. There will be a second one in the series, but I don't think that comes out until like August or something, so we'll be waiting. But I still think it would be fun. I also have Chapel Roan stuck in my head right now, which is so fun and cool, but it's also like, girl, get out of there, like, what are you doing in there? Anyways, we're almost done. Next is Center Ice by Julia Connors, and it's the first in the Boston Rebels. Also, I found that I have been just like picking up books that are like 1 or 2 books, but they're not finished a series, which I hate. The Kindle keeps recommending them to me, and like they're good books, and then I'm like, oh, when's the next one coming out? Like at the end of this year, and I'm like, thanks for getting me invested for nothing. But I gave this book a 3 stars. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I did pick up this book because the author's name is Julia. Like, I gotta represent the Julias, I gotta help the Julias out. I'd never heard of this book, but hey, it was fun. Basically, it is this dude, he's hockey, and he moves back to Boston where he's from and is on the team, whatever, and it's like a really important year for him. He has family issues, like his mom's sick and like all this stuff, and then he reconnects with his college tutor slash hookup, and she has a 6-year-old son. And guess how long ago they hooked up? Yeah, 6 years ago. So it's his son. And this book is kind of crazy in a lot of aspects, but you kind of just have to suspend your disbelief for just like a second. But it does give you like a goofy laugh, because it's like, what's going on? Julia, what's going on in this book? And I meant Julia, like the author, not me. But it was fun, and like it did make me giggle, and I did have a good time reading it. So 3 stars, you know? Okay, the last 2 are unfortunately like such letdowns. But the first one is Sweet as Sin. It's the first in the Bad Habit series by J.T. Geissinger. I gave it 2 stars. Okay, sorry if the camera angle's different. My camera just was like, no, I'm gonna be difficult right now for you. But sorry. Anyways, so this book is, I was so excited because it's a boy band slash just like band book, which I love. I like it more than any sports romance. I like it more than like any mafia. It's probably like my favorite like genre of like romance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so good. And I think it honestly goes back to like Wattpad and all of that, which was some of my first exposure to romance novels. So it makes sense to me. There are not enough band romances. We need more. It's a perfect setup. Everyone in the band. You can make it complicated. Touring. That's such a fun thing. Please write more. Please, if you're an author watching this, please, 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 I'm begging, write a romance book about a band. I would love it. Anyways, I was so excited for the series because, as I said, I love band romances, but it was not that good. This was like Wattpad, but in all the wrong ways. Like, you know, like a crazy Wattpad story. You're like, what's going on here? So this follows Kat, and she's a makeup artist, and she basically, Bad Habit is the band, and she works like on one of their like sets one day for their music video. But basically she like has love at first sight with the singer of the band, Nico, which is like the first half of this book. Honestly, I was kind of living. I was like, this is cute, this is fun. Sometimes love at first sight in a book is like good and fun and giggly, whatever. Then it went off the rails. Then it really turned into like a Wattpad story, because it was like, then the brother was coming back and he was like hunting them, and it was like, what's going on? And like she literally like couldn't leave, and then like he was like possessive in such a gross way that I was like, no, like this is no longer giggly, fun, and cute. So like the first half was fun, and then the second half was not fun at all. But I was like, you know what? They hyped up the next couple, and I was like, let me give them a chance. Like, it still sounds interesting. Like, maybe this book will be better, whatever. So I read Make Me Sin, which is the last book, and I gave it 1 star. It was worse. This one was like a cross of like a mafia and a Wattpad book as well. Both bad ones of those genres. Like, I like those genres on their own, but bad ones, you know. This one followed Chloe, which is like a friend of the girl from the first, and she's just like happily bubbly, amazing, cute girl. She owns a flower shop and fun, cool. And then the dude is the drummer from the band, AJ. Basically, the story is like enemies to lovers. Not really. Like, he's doing the whole thing where like he doesn't think he deserves her, so he's being rude and mean to her to like try to make her stay away. But then it just makes her more interested in him, because she's like, nobody dislikes me, why do you dislike me? And then he's being like, get away. And then it's just like weird, but okay, whatever. And then this major trigger warnings in these books too. Like, girl, things were flying out of nowhere that I was like, I could have used a warning for that. But something awfully traumatic happens, and then he's like taking care of her after it, and like they're bonding, and then he's finally like, okay, we can like pursue this, but it's only gonna last a week, whatever. I'm not gonna give anything away. There's a plot twist at the end too, which I was like, why Why? It's really giving. Sorry guys, I'll put up another chapter tomorrow. Like my whole family got in a car crash, like Wattpad vibes. Like why? It's so weird and it's such a wild turn of events and it happens with like 40 pages left in the book or something. And it's like, why is this happening? Get me out of, and I literally was like, get me out of this book. I just need to finish this. This is like, because this is a 400-page book. Like I had invested time in this. So there is more books in the series, but I am DNFing the series as a whole. I can't do it. I'm not going to be doing it. I gave that one star if I had not already said that. It was not my cup of tea, which is so disappointing. I was so excited, but you know, these things happen. But yay, I was so excited to do this video. This was so fun. I talked forever. This video is probably going to be kind of long because I love talking to you guys and I love talking about all these books and having a giggle and a laugh about some of the books that maybe aren't as good, aren't my cup of tea, I guess I should say, and talking to you guys about it because you guys get it. You get it. We see each other, you know? So thank you for watching this video and you are beautiful and wonderful. Oh my God, can you hear my stomach? That's embarrassing. You're beautiful and wonderful and kind and you are amazing and smart and funny and make sure to go eat a snack because I need to go eat one clearly. And thank you for watching this video and I will see you guys in the next one.